Yo, success comes in so many different types of ways, so many types of variation of what you think a success is. Now I'm gonna tell you that most people have this misperception of success is money. It is, this type of glorious lifestyle, the stuff that you see a lot on TV, social media. You see everyone is, you know, they're they're in this grandiose type of stage of their life. Everything that you see people have to take pictures of, they've got to show you the finest dining. They got to show you the finest travel. They've got to show you the multiple places that they travel to in different countries and all this other stuff. And if you believe that that's your success, if you believe that that's your success or that's what a successful person is, more power to you. You move towards that direction. But don't ever impose that that's what success really is. Because not everybody else believes that that's what success really is. To me, as a man, I think that success is being self sufficient. Doesn't mean being able to go above and beyond, but being self sufficient. And what I mean by that, self sufficient is that you could take care of yourself, you could take care of your family. No one else has to intervene with those types of personal things that you have going on within yourself, within your family, within yourself. No one else should be able to intervene or have to intervene based off of the life that you chose. Now, emergency things happen, people go on hard times, stuff like that. That's fine, but it should always be that you're working your hardest to not be anyone else's burden. To me, that's what true success is. That is absolutely what true success is. That's what I felt and I always had as something for my own son. It's the same exact thing. Because you know what? When my mom was here, she used to always tell me she was proud of me. Always. Used to always say I was proud of me. And I'm like, man, what you supposed to be proud about? Like, I didn't do anything. I would always question, like, yeah, I didn't do anything. But then as I got older and I started to look around the rest of this world, and she was just saying that, being proud of me because of where I came from, that I still was living, that I didn't wind up falling in the pitfalls that so many of the folks that I grew up with that have been in my community that have gone through, just to be on a halfway decent side. That's what my mom was proud about. Just the fact of just to be able to quote unquote make it. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes the most simplest thing like that is a success story. It really is. Keeping yourself somewhat clean, out of trouble. Those are success stories. Ain't nothing boring about that. All this glorifying all of this nonsense with folks sitting up here that they've been in jail or they did some fraud stuff or, they acting a clown on social media, doing all kind of, unnecessary, negative nonsense. And folks glorify these people. They put these folks on a pedestal for what? For what? Because, I don't know, you think that that's interesting, that's got a little bit of flair, that's like a what they call one of those comeback story type of things, or what? Nah. none of that stuff none of that stuff is cool. None of that stuff is cool, especially if you went through it and now you're bragging about the fact that you went through that stuff. Now that you put that stuff on your face card, that's who you are. That's what you really live in. Ain't nothing successful about that. So I want men to believe and realize that there's a different type of success that you can have and be comfortable with, be uh, appreciative of, to be content with. And that success can be just whatever it is that is quiet. It doesn't get all of the extra glory. It is just being able to maintain, take care of yourself, be a decent individual. Yo, I'll take that stuff as being born. I'll take that stuff as being born, because part of my purpose of being here on this earth is to try to be able to influence and to be somewhat of a role model to make this world a little bit better of a world than what it is. So if I gotta be boring and I can change the mind and change the heart of someone who's looking at me or listening to me, and they could be boring just the same, oh, the world can change, man. The world can absolutely change. So let's not get caught up with the success of what is portrayed primarily on television, on social media, out and open. Do not conflate that as being what success and what success looks like, because that's a lot of pressure. A lot of these folks that you're seeing have achieved some of this stuff not by any kind of hard work, by a lot of different shiesty type of moves that they had to make, fraudulent type of numbers. You always hear the stories when you start looking at some of the people that you looked up to, and then you hear that all of a sudden somebody's investigating them for, some type of fraud that they committed. Somehow, all of that traveling and the dining and the cars and all the other stuff, all of a sudden you find out, oh, wait a minute, they stole some money. Or they got that money from the government. Or they took money from clients. Or they had some kind of loan from somewhere else that propped them up to make them look that way. You always have to pay attention to what you see and how folks are being idolized and how they're being put up on this pedestal. A lot of times it's not authentic how they got there. A lot of times. And the main push for people is they realize that the algorithms, they realize that, whatever type of tools that are being used in order to push content or to push people in their direction, is you have to manipulate this stuff. You have to manipulate the numbers. You got to make stuff look like it's, this overachievement. And 9 times out of 10, they're doing some stuff in the background that you didn't know about and that you didn't do, which is good. And now they get exposed. But they convinced all these people that they were this true success story. So be the success that you believe is being a success, which everybody has their own viewpoint of what success is. I tell you one thing that's not successful is doing things that where you're hurting people, you're doing wrong by people. That's not being successful, no matter which way you cut it. That's not success. Be somewhat of a decent individual, a decent human on this earth. That's the hardest thing for a lot of people to do, is just be decent. It is easy to go the wrong path. The easiest thing to do to get on the wrong path. because you feel that, well, hey, you know what? I don't have to deal with the consequences. Or you think you're going to get away from the consequences. So you just keep pushing and you keep going down this wrong path, and you burn all these bridges, and you do all of this foul stuff. And then maybe it may catch up to you. And then now we're in this world where if it catches up to you, oh, you may be able to get away with it. We're in this new age world now where, oh, that's going to entice some of these folks who don't have to be decent no more. Because now there's a chance that you get in trouble, or somebody may bail you out. But if you're a person who has a conscience and a spirit, like I've talked before in the videos, some type of soul, you're not going, you shouldn't be falling down that path. So anyway, my whole point is, as men, start to chart out what it is that you believe is success. Do not look at this stuff that you see that everyone puts as this marker of what success is supposed to look like. Man, success comes in so many different types of ways. Just being healthy, being able to move around, that's successful. Because there's a story. I always got these little stories, man. There's a story, man. I remember that I went to a insurance company because I was thinking about leaving the insurance company I was with. Went to an insurance company, and they, did all the rolling out the red carpet, flew me out and all this other stuff to come to possibly join their team, right? Go there. They got all the nice setup. They're giving you all the good, great information and all of the perks and all this other stuff, right? So we get ready to meet the owner. So we're sitting in this room, and they put this chair out in front of us. And so I was like, okay, maybe owner's just going to come in, sit down, talk to us or whatever. So he comes in, kind of walking a little bit gingerly, sits down. Well, no, first he didn't sit down. He started talking for a little bit. But he said that I can't stand any longer than 5 minutes because my back is completely blown. I've had this problem, and I don't have any remedy to get any resolution to this. So he had to sit down. And he started talking about, some of his health issues and things. And I'm looking at this guy. He had just made the pump. He just switched the company to go public. He just signed off for the company to go public. So, of course, this guy is extremely wealthy. His interest in that particular company netted him, I think it was like nearly $1 billion, maybe a little bit more, something like that. So I'm looking at this guy. This dude is $500 million, billionaire, whatever. And this man was talking about he couldn't stand any longer than 5 minutes. He had problems with his back, ongoing problems with his back. And so when I looked at that, I'm like, now I ain't got that money, but I sure as heck did not want to sit here and be worth that kind of money where you could buy anything you want to buy in the world. And there's nothing this man can do to change or correct his back. He can't enjoy that money. And that's what you call success? That's who you think is successful? So think about that. When you look at all these people, there's something going on with these individuals that you may see that you may not like, that you may not want to partake in, that you may not want to be, that you may be in a better position than they are, even though they have the wealth. Your success story can mean much more than what that person's success story tends to look like. Just because it looks a certain way don't mean that that's what it is. So find success in your own right. Find success within your own life. That personal success. Try to do good. Even though, I mean, good could be subjective, but you know what I mean. I always say, if folks followed the 10 Commandments, you ain't got to do all the other stuff in the Bible and stuff like that. And I'm not knocking anybody who's a Christian and a Bible believer, whatever. But if the world focused on the 10 Commandments, if you just did that, we wouldn't have none of these problems. That's the most simplest doctrine that you can follow and live by. You do that, we good. Movement of men. Now, as I always say, I'm about to go to the park, do what I gotta do. So I'm gonna catch y'all cats on the next one. Peace out.